Welcome back to Studio F, where on Fast Times Willy B, we'll continue through the 28 series with 28 weeks later. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell.
Welcome back to Fast Times Willy B. I'm Willy B. I've got Kory back with me, and we are on to the second of the trilogy, as we have 28 weeks later. Months, they just said F you, as we go to years after this. But director-wise, we got Juan Carlos Fresnadillo.
Yep.
I remembered it. What a name.
I remembered it.
Cast-wise, I'm going to start with what we are familiar with. We've got Jeremy Renner, Rose Byrne, and Idris Elba.
Yep.
Three pretty familiar faces, a couple big names there.
Did you go in not looking up the cast, like I said?
Yes, I did.
So you had that experience every 20 minutes going, really?
Jeremy Renner, I think, was the first you see, and I was like, oh, okay. I could see why, you were excited about that one. Then Rose Byrne, I was like, oh, Rose Byrne, And then Idris Elba was one I was like, what?
Yeah.
I did not expect to see Idris Elba in this movie.
No.
And then the other two that I think are noteworthy to mention are Imogen Poots and Macintosh Muggleton. I know those both sound like characters in Harry Potter.
Harry Potter! I was going to say! Fuck! Yeah.
So you're thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read those and I was like, this sounds like Harry Potter 9.
It sure does. It sure does.
These are the two main characters, but...
Or spells, whatever.
Yeah.
Or shops.
Macintosh Muggleton just sounds like a guy that gets made fun of.
Oh my god.
But...
Yeah. That sounds like the guy that's going to get cast as Neville in the new series.
Yeah. Like him in this thing. But we'll start with the good. I think I'm going to have a little more to say here than you. So, as you heard in the 28 days, Kory does not think highly of this film.
No.
I don't think highly, but I did like it. So, starting with what I think we could agree on in the good is the opening scene.
Yes, the opening scene's great. It's probably the best scene in the movie.
Probably.
At least in terms of, just very well sensible and made and whatever.
Yeah. And, I mean...
Because there's some tense stuff that happens later that I
think this movie has a lot of tension. But something that I love about this first scene is I can't say how I would or wouldn't act in this situation, but I don't think that I do think that there's a lot of people that probably react the same way Don did. In the sense that, there's no chance for you guys, might as well save myself.
Well, yeah. Because it's just pointless to be like, well, throw myself into this, too.
So, I'd like to say I'm hopping in there for Rosie.
Yeah.
Now, the pressure of that situation might change things. You never know. But I do like that they went that route because, like I said, I think there's a lot of people that would be in the heat of the moment, be like, well, if I can't save you, you know what I mean? And so I think that's what I liked so much about it, because when you're watching it as somebody who's not in that situation, you're like, what a dick.
Yeah.
But then if you really think about it, you're like, is it that far-fetched?
Here's the thing. I would also love to say I'm in that boat, but I'm going to say it right now. Probably doing the same. Like I'm 98% sure I'm running.
Yeah.
Because what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And also, all right, I'll say
it's one thing if I have a weapon,
That's
a baseball bat, I'm going in.
I was going to say it, but you already said it. Why does nobody there have weapons?
Yeah. That's fair.
Insane. You're just going to punch the ball?
Dude, if I got a Louisville Slugger, though, I'll go in there. I'm getting Rosie out.
Oh, yeah.
But if I'm sitting there and
if you got a gun? Yeah.
I got my balls in my hand, what am I going to do? You know?
Fist fight a zombie.
But also, I look at that situation and somebody that I might just go in there because I don't think I want to live during that situation.
No.
I think I'm just better off.
Probably just better
taking
off.
the L.
Yeah.
You
just got to know when to quit. What's that song? You got to
know when to fold it.
Know when to fold it. That's right.
I might fold pretty quickly, I'm not going to lie.
I already folded.
We talked about it in the first episode. Rage virus is just something that if that's what we get, if we ever get a zombie apocalypse, I don't think I'm going to do that.
You will see a grown man, me, actually take a poop wherever I'm at.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not slow, but I'm not fast.
Yeah.
And in a zombie apocalypse, whether it's the undead, all their muscles are deteriorated, they just want brain, I can outrun all those guys.
Yeah.
Rage virus, I'm toast.
No, it's because they have that, that point whenever you're running where you go, I'm tired, I'm going to stop. They don't have that.
Dude, in our group chat alone, there's 8 dudes that if any of them get infected, they're catching me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Probably everybody in our group.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
So.
It's not looking good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then if one of the dogs get... No, I'm kidding. But no, this first scene is definitely something that we can agree on isn't the good. I think it's a very good tone setter. It's a very good, second chapter to what we get in the first movie.
Yeah.
Or next chapter, I should say. And then I think it's interesting where it goes from here in the sense that you feel like they have this thing eradicated. And you get to 28 weeks later. Very similar to the first movie, but this one kind of shows updates like 10 weeks later, 14 weeks later. And once you get 28 weeks later, they're starting to move back into the UK. And for me, I did enjoy this movie. I do get what you're saying on some of the dumb decisions that were made.
Yeah.
But I think that this movie ramps up the rage virus a little bit. And so I dug that aspect of it. We get more of zombie versus human rather than human versus human. While we still get human versus human because the military is in charge once again.
I'm going to get into it in good ways.
Yes. So I think I know what you're going to say about how the disease is spread. Why the fuck would you kiss her? But
I wasn't really thinking about it, but I'll talk about it later.
In that phase, though, that this thing is starting to spread again, the realism of Idris Elba's character too, right here. Like,
just being like, fuck, nuke it.
Where it's like,
bomb it.
No target. Like everybody's a target now. Like
that's a great scene.
What else do you do?
That's a great scene where they bomb London.
Yeah,
I genuinely love, and I'm just gonna say it now, just so I don't forget. The music is still great. Still John Murphy.
The music is fantastic.
Yeah. And also, unfortunately, 28 weeks later, score not on Spotify. Have fun looking it up on YouTube. I didn't. I did, but it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
And the bombing London scene, really good score there.
Yeah.
So that's great. It was nice to hear the 28 weeks, days later theme.
Yeah.
Pop up again.
Yeah.
Or pop up again. But yeah, I think that is in general a great premise that the military is basically just after you at the same time as especially one of the scenes that I do like is whenever they're running down, the alleys and whatever, and they have snipers going after them, but they also have to worry about infected on the streets.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And in general, I think it's an interesting premise to have this kind of mystery built up about you saved mom, but it's not adding up, whatever. I think that entire thing and having somebody who doesn't become one of the infected but can still transmit it. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Obviously, that's a thing that happens. That's a real thing.
That's how you find a cure.
Yeah,
and I like that aspect of it a lot. Mm-hmm. Touching base on the sniper shooting down while the infected's down on the ground as well. A scene that I really liked is when they're showing Idris Elba and all of the other military men in this room while this is happening. You can tell they don't want to do this.
No,
but they have to.
Yeah, I mean, look, real life situation.
Because it's code red.
I don't know.
If you get the order code red, you got to do what that order. You know what I mean? And you can just tell by their faces that nobody in that room is happy with what's going on.
In general, I feel like I do appreciate that, and also I think good characters too. Because Rose Byrne's character I really liked. Jeremy Renner's the idea of that character I really liked.
What a sacrifice!
Yeah,
that scene got me, dude. I was like, damn.
Did it really?
Because those kids,
it did suck that they both died. Rose Byrne's is funny, but I'll get to it. But yeah, no, good scene. Good characters again. I think the sibling relationship is pretty good too.
I like Andy and Tammy a lot.
Quite believable. I think the mom does some good acting too.
Yeah,
because she's fucking creepy. She's weird.
Yeah.
It's funny how I saw again another. This is all three of these movies. I've looked at the poster, saw the poster, and didn't think to read into it at all. And then I watched the movie and went, oh, fuck, that's why the poster's one yellow eye, one red eye. You know, whatever. Or one, you get what I'm saying. Yeah. One normal eye, one of the red and yellow eyes.
Yeah.
Humidity still got me by the throat, dude.
Oh, dude. It's bad.
Can't even think.
I saw next week and it was 81s in the forecast. I'm like, yes! That's cold to what we've been getting.
Oh, relief. But yeah, anyway, I think all that stuff's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty much out of good, though.
Okay. For me, I thoroughly enjoyed most of this movie, and I think it starts with the characters. I think I easily fell in love with this group, and I'm talking Scarlett, Doyle, and the brother and sister. Because whenever either of those two got killed, it hurt me at a level.
It does.
And
you do
then
feel bad for him.
when Dawn starts attacking Andy, I thought they were gonna kill a kid.
Yeah.
And then I remember, and I was like, maybe they'll go that route, and I'm glad they did. And I like the little scene we get in the tunnel between brother and sister before they meet Flint and go off to France, I believe.
Yeah.
I know the ending is zombies kind of taking over France, but
Yeah.
I think that's where they went as well.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it's in the good for me. Obviously, camera and audio is stepped up, but they weren't going for that. It was a different feel.
They're still kind of in the middle ground too, because it still wasn't like regular 2007 production.
Yeah.
They still it still had some of that
feel to it,
that feeling to it. Yeah, which I think is good.
You mentioned the music. I'm going to mention it again because I think it obviously took a lot of the original score, but I think that there is more music in this movie than there was in the first, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I think the music is placed very well, and dude, I've heard this like the theme before, but I never really appreciated it. It's a hell of a theme.
It's a good theme, dude.
So I'm gonna just give that a little extra love in the good here. That score is fantastic. Makes me excited for Superman, knowing that he's doing it too, even more than I already was excited for it. You know me though, I'm really excited just to see Progressive Field.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But no, I'm excited for the movie, obviously. Yeah. But just excited to see the meteors. But I think they did a lot of the technical things good for me. I didn't have any gripes. I think the cinematography and some of the shots we get. I don't think we got a shot on the level of the first one where we get the empty and killing Murphy. But I still think everything's done pretty well.
I think on a technical level, most things are pretty decent.
Yeah.
There's one thing that I will say here in a minute, but that's okay.
I don't know. Like, it's not a movie that blew me away, but it's also a movie that I don't have much to complain about. If that makes sense.
For the record,
which you'll see with my score.
I didn't really have a bad time watching it, but that's because I was enjoying it for the first half, and then the second half, I had fun making fun of it.
Yeah. I think for me, it's definitely a step down from the first one. Not much of a step down, but I do feel like there's more tension in this one. And I think it's because of how much we get with the rage virus. We get a lot of chase, and I liked that about this movie. It's funny because I was watching it with the mindset of trying to figure out where it falls off. And then the credits roll, and I was like, I kind of liked it because I had seen your score, I'd seen Austin's score, I
told you it was falling off a cliff.
Well, even Mike Fulgerson, shout out Mike, good dude, he's been on here. His Letterboxd review I think was a 5 out of 10 that said oof, except for the first scene. And so I was like, man, is it really this bad after the first scene? And I never found it. For me, I think it checked a lot of the boxes for being just a solid film. But we can hop over to the meh. I'll let you take over. I don't know what you have in the meh versus bad, but we can start with the meh.
Okay, this time I am going to put editing distinctly in the meh.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's terrible, but I think it has moments where I'm like, you know how I said in 28 Days Later there were moments where I was like, this is a bit much, but for stylistically I think it works. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it works in this one. I think it's too much. That tunnel scene, my fucking God. I literally looked at Austin. I was like, dude, I don't even care to watch this. Yeah. Like, I started looking at my phone because I was like, I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Yeah.
It's just a little too much.
That's fair. I can get behind that. The tunnel scene was a lot because at first when Scarlett's getting killed, I thought it was Tammy.
Uh-huh.
And so I can agree with that,
yeah.
Lighting specifically in that scene isn't...
That was the next thing, was lighting.
They tried to do the Silence of the Lambs thing.
Which lighting,
I didn't do it right.
Kind of maybe, I might even put it not bad. I'm not sure.
But you get what I'm saying? Like they tried to do the night vision.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And it didn't, yeah. Okay, you know what? It is going in bad. I'll talk about it later.
Okay.
So there's that. In general, I think there's just some pretty goofy shit in here. Like, I get why he would kiss his wife, but I don't think it makes any sense. Because literally, they had to pry her away from the son, and you think the son would go, hey, there's something wrong with my mom, and you would strap her to a table, which they did, and you would go, you'd put up signs, you'd change access codes, and also they think that this woman has the cure to this thing. So just out of fear that one of those guys would even go in there and, like, shoot her or something because they're afraid she's going to get everybody infected, you think they would, like, change passcodes and shit so no one can get in there. That is the most important woman in the world in that moment.
Yeah.
And
I can't get behind the kiss. I can agree with you that that's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah. Then he bites her.
But once again, like, I mean, if Rosie's on a table and it's been months and I think she's dead, I don't know, you know.
Well, in general, he just shouldn't have been able to get in there.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then also, like, oh, God, there's a couple things. That scene where they're in the parking garage, they literally shoved all those people into that area to be like, you'll be safe being packed in here like sardines. Lock the door. No one can get through it. And there's just a door over here that one infected can open the door to. What is that?
So.
Dawn.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it just unlocked or, like, did he scan in?
Oh, I'm skipping to the parking garage scene. This isn't for the kiss.
Yeah.
You're talking about whenever he gets in the parking garage?
Because he has access to the entire building, remember? So I wonder if he scanned in to get in there.
He was infected. He was just banging on the doors and they just opened.
Oh, that's all that happened?
Yeah.
I don't recall him. I didn't know if he, like, scanned in and maybe that's why it was so easy to open.
No. And also, I don't think infected are mindful enough to do something like that.
No.
Because they just, like, if you tell them to, like, they're not mindful enough to walk downstairs. They just jump out a window. So something tells me they can't scan a fucking passcode.
That's fair.
So that was strange. And then there's the part where they're like, hey, you're going to go distract the sniper. And he just sends the dude out to basically die. And then the kid's like, I got it. And all these snipers have been on point. And then suddenly he can't hit like an 8-year-old running down the street.
He's zigzagging. He's doing exactly what you're supposed to do in an active shooter situation.
I guess.
Kudos to the kid. He listens.
I guess. And then also, the fucking helicopter pilot that he's friends with, he's like, he lands and then he's like, nah, get rid of these people and then I'll come pick you up over here. Goofy that he just landed and went, nah, I'm moving over there. You meet me over there, but ditch these fucking idiots. And then he flies over there just to see what happens, I guess. And then by the time they get there, it's just the kids and the 2 people are gone. And they know that they're the kids of the woman who was infected but was kind of immune to it. And he was like, fuck it, get on the helicopter.
At that point, I mean, what else are you going to do?
They doomed the world. It was a stupid decision. Because...
Wait, what scene are you talking about?
It was the very end.
How did he doom the world?
Because he let the kids on the helicopter.
Yeah, but you have to. They're the only chance to cure.
That's true. But also, well, for one, the kid has the different colored eye thing. Mm-hmm. 2, the sister, kind of a dick for being like, I reckon we'll get on this helicopter. Like, you just proved that you're both, like, immune to it. Or at least he is. So it's like, just stick it out. Let the helicopter dude know or something. Not kid, like, sneezes on somebody's face or something, and then there's the rest of the world. Done. Selfish and stupid.
I think that one I think is reading into it too much.
No,
but,
I think it's stupid that he was just like, yeah, come on. Goofy.
Going back to the helicopter scene where he chops with the zombies, I'm going to throw that in the mech because that scene's...
Oh, I forgot about that.
Goofy as hell.
What the fuck?
But I love that the guy that's hanging on got infected because F him. Like,
yeah, I mean, that guy's... Oh, that's the goofy-ass idiot who was supposed to run in the alley.
Yeah.
That scene is funny.
It is funny.
The fact that he just... How did he hit that angle so perfectly to cut off a bunch of heads?
Him down.
And also, like, that's not how that would work because... If you're tilting it, it goes in a circle. So there would only be, like, this window where he would be... You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what
it would be doing like this.
It's definitely goofy and physics don't line up with it. But it was kind of cool.
It was... Oh, that might be bad. I don't know. So meh's good enough for me.
Goofy cool.
I guess. In general, I'm putting this in the meh for a specific reason. Okay. You know I love that main theme. I've loved that main theme since I watched Kick-Ass when I was too young. Because it's in there for some reason. But they hammer you to death with that score. Oh my god.
I liked it.
They relied on it way too much. That's like, dude, I love the Avengers theme, but if it played every other scene, I would hate that score by the end of the movie.
But I think this worked in more places than the Avengers theme would work.
Yes, but I was like... And also, the other thing is, the composer doesn't really decide, oh, I'm going to do the main theme 5 times here, here, and here.
Yeah.
That's a stylistic choice by the director, most likely. Too much.
Okay.
Too much.
I liked it.
I love that score, but I was exhausted of it by the end of that movie.
I would inject it in my veins.
Fair enough.
Not the rage virus, but the score.
Fair enough.
Imagine having the rage virus.
Can't.
No.
Don't know what it's like.
Be just irate all the time.
I have it then.
Kory just gets up and starts kicking the shit out of me.
That would be so awesome.
Wow.
Can animals get the virus again? I'm sure they can.
My monkeys did.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Like, can it go back to animals? Probably, if it started from monkeys, though.
Why, you thinking about Robin having it?
No, but now I am. Thanks. He got his nuts chopped yesterday.
Poor guy. Can't get it without nuts.
No. I mean, you can get it without nuts,
No,
though.
for sure.
Yeah, it's just not as fun.
Not as fun.
Or it's more fun. Let's not get into it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anything else in the math
I think
for you?
that's it for meh.
Okay. I mean, there was a couple of points I can see from you. Like I said, I kind of agree with the kiss being far-fetched, but I get we have to get it somewhere.
Yeah.
And the helicopter scene is definitely goofy. Like I said, I don't have much to complain about with this movie. I don't think my goods were as good as the first movie, but I still, for the most part, enjoyed this film. But we can hop over to the bad for you. Go right ahead.
I think the lighting at times is real bad. A lot of the
I can
time.
see
The
that
color
point,
grading
yeah.
and lighting. Oh my god. That fucking, like, gray blue sky. I was like, what the fuck am I even looking at right now?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like dawn or something? Looks like nonsense. I didn't like it.
Okay.
So that's that for the most part. Again, there's some stuff with the virus that they left kind of vague in a way that was kind of irritating. Like, the fact that she was... I like the thing that she, like, had it, but, like... But she also kind of had it, though, at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Because I think if she should have been immune, she should have been immune. Her eye changed, but she should have been, like, normal.
Yeah.
You know, because that's usually how that works. If you're, like... You know, if you have an immunity to, like, you know, anything... You just show no symptoms, right?
But she wasn't.
But she was, though, because remember she was, like, almost choking her son to death and shit?
She was hugging him really hard.
She was acting, she was acting weird, though. It wasn't like she was just acting weird because she hadn't seen him for a long time, whatever. She very clearly had, like, some of the virus going through her, which is kind of... I don't like that.
I don't think I minded
just
anything
didn't make
with her
sense.
aspect.
I guess I shouldn't have read too far into it, but I don't know. It just felt really weird and vague. Also, she goes to home, to her home and stays in the attic or whatever, and she's just like surviving off eating maggots and shit or something.
I don't know.
I don't really know either. There's just a bunch of maggots everywhere. And I don't. That's what I'm saying.
Canned goods.
It changed because she was maybe, but she was a regular lady, and now she's living like a weird creep, like half naked in a stinky attic. Like,
well, it also could have been the aspect of like, I mean, those movies about plane crashes where you start eating your, friends because there's nothing else to eat. It could have been that situation where she's weird. She's weird now because it's 7 months later.
That's true, but also she has like the whole town to like go get some food.
I mean, maybe she was scared.
Like they went on that pizza. That's what I'm saying.
I'm definitely playing devil's advocate to everything you say right now.
That's what I'm
just
saying.
Thinking like
because she left
7 months by yourself, probably wig you out a bit.
Like she got caught in that corner, and then next thing you know, she's just in that house.
Yeah,
and it's like not that I want to know how she got there or anything, but like. Why didn't the communities over there just go in the community?
Yeah.
And be like, look at me, I'm not freaking out.
Yeah.
But she kind of was freaking out. That's what I'm saying. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of confused.
Okay, that's fair.
You're allowed to be I'm going to put this in the bad. Why are the snipers watching people have sex so much? That's weird. You know, remember that? Where they're looking through the windows to be like, make sure everything's clear? There's just people having sex.
I don't think I looked that far into the windows.
it wasn't like you had to look that far into
Really?
it. Like, they zoomed in on, like,
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
That's
It's
fair.
just people having sex with them. And they're constantly talking about, like, now there's a dude taking a dump. It's like, we get it. They're watching everybody. My God.
I mean, I could have used more Cillian Murphy's. No, I'm kidding.
More, yeah. Okay, that's in the bad. No Cillian Murphy dong.
Exactly.
What the fuck is that? Star of the last movie.
I need more.
Yeah, I need more as well. I need all of it.
Bone Temple.
I want to see Cillian Murphy's Bone Temple.
I'm pretty
Again.
sure like he's gonna be in 28 years later Bone Temple or whatever.
They said he's in it a little bit, and then he's in it a lot in the one after.
Okay.
If it gets made, which it will, because 28 years is doing very well right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel like I had another thing to say. Oh, and also, again, I like the mystery about, like, what did you do to mom or whatever, but I don't like that the daughter was, like, mad at it. It was like, he didn't explain anything of, like, she got cornered and I was gonna try to save her, but I literally saw them get her, so I left. How was I supposed to know she was immune? Like, I feel like a Post-it note could have solved that entire conflict. I feel like there should have been another level of, like, scumminess to it. It should have been a situation where she wasn't really fucked. She just left, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been a little bit more compelling than just, like, she was fucked and somehow she's around and the daughter just gets mad for whatever reason.
I'm confused on what you're saying.
I just think that, like, I think the daughter and the father very easily could have resolved that if either of them had just said enough about their side.
Oh, okay.
You know, if
I
you
see
get
what
what
you're
I'm
saying. I thought you were saying like the daughter had no right to be upset at first, and I was like, I mean,
Even that, yeah, kinda. She kinda had no right to be upset. Dude, your mom was hoarded by zombies. I barely made it out alive, just me. Like, when I left, there were zombies flying out the windows and shit. She was cooked, mate.
I think she's upset because he said he saw her die.
Is that why she's mad?
Yeah, but she never.
Okay, you know what? That's even better. Why say she died? Just say, I saw her get swarmed, so I left.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's why she's upset. Though.
Could still be like, what? Like, what do you think happened? If she gets swarmed by 5 of these things and she's at the center of it, what does that mean?
Yeah, I think she's just upset because she was like, you said you saw her die, and he never saw her die.
I guess.
Obviously,
Yeah,
'cause she's
yeah,
not
that's
dead.
true. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even that makes even less sense than the thing I thought it was.
I mean, I would probably be upset if my parents said they saw the other parent die and they're still alive, because then that means like
Yeah, but
you
if
didn't see them through the end. You know what I mean?
yeah, but like, again, he barely made it out alive. He was the
And that's
only
on
one who
him.
made it out.
That's on him. He should have told her, "I think your mom is dead." Not your mom is dead.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think the girl definitely has the right to be upset.
Fair, but he definitely could have been like,
Oh, I think he was just trying to save his ass
I guess.
because he left her like a dick.
Like, yeah, but just like, what a pussy. I think that's it. I think.
I don't have anything.
Can't remember much else.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, also, whenever they just started shooting civilians, nonsense.
I mean, that's what I was talking about with like.
They didn't want to make the decision.
That's a tough call, but
No, it is. My thing is more so about, like, the reason I think it's nonsense is because they're using rifles. Like, dude, pull out your fucking assault rifle.
yeah.
I'm not trying to be an advocate for better mass shooting. But if there's a clump and you got to get the clump, what are you doing with a rifle?
Yeah, get the automatic out.
And
sure.
we know they have it because Jeremy Renner just pulls one out. I'm like, why the fuck were you going one by one with the fucking sniper, you dummy?
He's just showing off his skills.
I guess.
It's a little more skill to shoot with a sniper.
It's that Hawkeye dumb shit.
Yeah.
Look how good I am
Pulls
with
out
a
a
bow and
bow.
arrow. Dude, if he had an assault rifle, could have solved all of these movies.
Imagine he pulled out a bow.
That would have been pretty fucking
And then
strange.
it goes, "Ba-da-na-na-na-na." No, just like, I'm the same here.
And then Neo from the Matrix flies down from heaven and says, "Go, Harry Potter."
I'm Iron Man.
I am Iron. You're a wizard, Jeremy.
Yeah.
He just calls him Jeremy.
Then it turns back to him and he has a wand. We're going way off right now.
I don't know. That's what this movie feels like when I watch it.
That's fair. I called you because I was like, I like this movie, so this is gonna be fun. And you're like, oh, I'm coming over right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
it was like a booty call for making fun of bad movies.
Or liking good movies.
Or liking bad movies.
But we can hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with 28 weeks later, and what do you give it out of 10?
In general, I think it starts off pretty strong in the first act, and it turns into a fucking mess. I don't like it. 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. That's the quickest you've ever gotten to a score on here.
I know.
For me, I thought it started out great, and it definitely slows down, but I think it's a solid film. I'm going 7 out of 10. I think it's
and you're allowed,
movie.
even if you're wrong.
I think it's a good movie. I think once I get 28 years tomorrow,
maybe
this could be a highly rated horror trilogy for me. I'm not going to say my favorite because there's a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, if 8, 7, if I get anything 8 or plus with years, you're looking at an 8+ average. I mean, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's fair. At least you're getting, you know what? At least you're benefiting from it for like having a new good trilogy that may turn into a pentilogy.
A new good trilogy that who knows if you can even get the first 2 again after years dies down a little bit.
Fuck me, who knows?
But gotta find them on tape, man. Well, at least the first one. I don't think Weeks would be on tape because it's 07.
Yeah, I'm buying all of these just so I'm like...
28 Days is proof. I bet if there's a tape out there, I bet it's stupid.
Brennan Brotherman has one.
Does he have? He has 28 days? I wonder how much he paid for that.
Yeah, I am curious about that too. I think like $50 or something.
Well, that's not too bad.
Something like that. Brennan, put it in the comments. Let us know.
How much did 28 Days Later run you on VHS?
Yeah.
Let us know. That'll do it for 28 Weeks Later. Kory, thanks for coming on.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. As always, it's all appreciated. 28 years is coming your way next, so stay tuned. But we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.